do we bring them to the forefront? How do we bring them to benefit from what is going into the world? How do we bring them in to be part of the global city? And the next, our emerging theme, which is what we are focusing on tonight, because the Rural Women and Girls, our organization have set up, we've sort of put it in with the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, and we are going to have an event on African suffragettes, of course, which we launched at the United Nations to talk about all that. But for tonight's theme, was the emerging theme, which was participation and access to the media and information and communication technologies and their impact on and use as an instrument for the advancement of women. So that is what we are talking about here. We did have this kind of gathering at the United Nations, and some of the things that came out of there, of course, we all know how powerful media is in changing your, in swaying opinions, in realigning your perspective on the world. We all know, and especially now that we've got the mainstream media, we also have the social media, and we know how media can build an empire. It can also break an empire. It can build a personality and also break a personality. It can also build stereotypes and also break stereotypes. Media could also, of course, vote an unwanted president into office. And so with this power of media, I'm going to say this again, I always say it on a lot of platforms. I come from Africa, as you can see. And we have a saying in Africa, until the lion learns to ride the story, we always glorify the hunter. So the person that writes the news will always write them with a bias according to what they want the world to believe in. We have looked at we look at the news. A lot of times the news is to the masculine side. Of course, I do understand that in all of us, man and women, we have the masculine and feminine side.
I don't know about that one.
That is true. That is true, but for the longest time, the world has been run on the masculine perspective of unnecessary competition. You see that in the media, most of the stories about people competing for power. For example, big rocket, small rocket.
Something extension.
It's about instant gratification, it's about unnecessary competition, it's about profit, it's about who can muscle in. While as the feminine touch is about building the community, it's about being in touch with the community, it's about tuning into the needs of the people. But that does not mean that women must run the media. It just means that the media needs to be more feminine, more female. That even those men, some men will have their personality would be predominantly feminine. In fact, some of us in here, our personalities are predominantly masculine.
Preach.
I think that's why. So that is what we are talking about. So tonight we want to discuss what would a female media look like? Why does the world need a female media? How would humanity benefit from a media run on the feminine spirit? What has gone wrong with the masculine media? Where do we need to put the word correct? In fact, it has been said before, two things. One of them is that, had the Lehman brothers been Lehman sisters? And also that, you see in the media, we do have some presidents, even those that people didn't really like. I had at some point my friend DT asked a question. We keep sending money to Africa. Why has the poverty never stopped? The media never repeated that he did say that. Every time he says something outrageous or horrible, they'll repeat it the whole week.
You mean like
countries? Yeah. Exactly. But when he says something so on development, something sensible, nobody repeated it. He also talked about, why do black boys keep killing themselves in Chicago? We need to do something about this. It was never repeated. It was said once, and it was never repeated over and over again. But anytime he says something horrible, something masculine, something that men think they can fight about, flex their muscle and show their power, it's repeated over and over again. Sometimes for a whole month they will focus on that. In my opinion, in studying practical philosophy and a little bit of human behavior, I believe that the feminine touch is about the community. It's about building families. It's about building communities. It's about development. So that is the issue that we are looking at tonight. And thank you very much for coming this evening.